Hi guys, Jackson, can you say hi?
Hi.
Hi. Oh, he's cute. Guys, we are here. Excuse Jackson's hair. We are here to do his 14-month update. He turned 14 months on June 30th, and here we are. I think it's July 22nd. So he's almost 15 months, but I still want to do his update. And yes, I'm feeding him a Rice Krispie treat while we do this. Hopefully he'll stay in the video with me. If not, you guys can look at him right now while he is sitting still. There isn't much to update on, so I'm just gonna get my notes here and we'll get through this video. So Jackson's doing a lot of new things. He is clapping when songs are over. It is so cute. We won't even notice that there's like a song or something on TV, and all of a sudden he'll say yay and he'll clap. Can you clap and say yay? Yay! And he's playing Peekaboo. Can you say, where's Jackson? Peekaboo! Where's Jackson? Peekaboo! He doesn't quite cover his eyes, he covers his ears. Can you blow a kiss? Good job, Jane. So he is learning those fun new things. He is picking up things so fast as well. So I feel like this age, they're learning lots of words, they're learning new things just so quickly. And I'm trying to keep up and write everything down, but I'm probably missing a whole bunch of other things that he's doing. Right. Jackson loves to be outside, you guys. He just loves outside. I don't know if it's because we don't get out much. You know, our backyard tends to be a little bit messy these days. We're gonna try to get some landscaping done. But anytime anybody goes outside, if he is not invited outside, he throws a fit. And when he is outside, he just loves being out there. Walks around, he loves sticks is his main thing that he loves. He collects sticks. We don't have any sticks in our backyard, but when we go to the park, he loves to collect sticks and he just carries them around, really big sticks, and then he always takes them home. So we have actually a lot of sticks in our garage from him playing with them. So he is all boy in that category. I mentioned this, I think last month and maybe even the month before that, but Jackson is throwing lots of fits, and Jane never really did this too bad, but he definitely will tell you what he wants, and if he doesn't get what he wants, he shows it. So throwing himself on the floor, rolling around, screaming. When we're making food and he's really hungry, if we're standing in the kitchen and we're, you know, trying to make plates and stuff, he scratches our legs. He's just kind of, like I said, he'll tell you what he wants, and we're trying to nip the whole throwing himself on the floor. The other day we were at Piper's newborn photo shoot, and he was trying to grab all the little girl headbands. And I was like, no, Jackson. He threw himself on the floor. It was a concrete floor, and threw his head back on the floor. So it could be very dangerous, his little temper tantrums that he has. So we're trying to work on that. Also, another horrible thing that Jackson is doing is hitting. That's another thing that Jane never did. Jane never bit or hit. Luckily, Jackson's not biting, but he does hit, and so we're working on that too. I laugh, but it's definitely not funny.
Sometimes I do hit, do I?
Jane's starting to hit now, yeah, but it's not good. Hitting's not good, right? Jackson, that's another thing. When he's frustrated, he hits. So if he's throwing a fit, or if we're telling him no and he doesn't listen, we have to grab him away from something, he automatically just does this hit. It's not like he walks up to us and hits us or anything. It's when he's frustrated, when we're telling him he can't have something. So these are things that we're working on that I don't know quite what I'm doing, because like I said, we didn't go through this with Jane. So I feel like he's definitely starting to understand things that we're saying, but at the same time, he's still only 14 months old, and I'm not sure all of the things that he's really understanding as far as like putting him in timeout or things like that. So we're working on it. Obviously, I would hate for him to hit somebody else's child, like at the playground or something. So we're definitely working on the hitting and the throwing the tantrums and things like that. Otherwise, he's a very sweet boy. He loves his mom. He is a lot more cuddly than Jane was. He will sit on our lap and watch TV, or just want to sit on my lap just to sit on my lap. And he still loves to be carried around a lot too. So he's definitely a lover, and he loves his mommy, so he's not all terrible. Jackson also loves to clean. He loves picking up toys. If we have the blocks on the floor, he loves to help us clean up the blocks. He loves like organizing things into piles, and I know he gets that from me because I'm constantly doing that, and I think he kind of watches me and he knows where things go. But also, if you guys have watched our daily vlog, he has a little vacuum cleaner. It's actually Jane's vacuum, but he loves using it, especially if I'm vacuuming or Chris is vacuuming. He wants the vacuum out, and he has to have it turned on to use it. So he loves doing that. He loves getting the mop out. He loves getting the broom out. He just loves cleaning. So I'm curious to see how he is. What are you saying? I'm curious to see what he's like when he gets bigger, if he continues to be a clean freak or an organizational OCD kind of thing, or if this is just a phase or something that he's seen me do. That was a big bite, buddy. Jackson is all boy again with climbing on everything. Again, I hate to keep comparing him to Jane, but these are things that I remember Jane doing or Jane not doing. And Jane started climbing on things right about this age. And so Jackson's been climbing on things for a while, so he's getting more and more daring. He will get up on tables. He gets up on our dining room table if the chair is pulled out and he can use the chair as a stool. He climbs up on the ottoman. He knows how to get down off of things now, which I feel a lot safer with. The last few months he wasn't knowing how to get down, so I was afraid he would fall. So I feel a little bit more comfortable with him climbing things, but at the same time, anything can happen. He can trip and fall, or when he's trying to get off, he can break a bone. And so I'm always really nervous with him climbing up on things, but he is definitely all boy in that. As you can see, Jackson loves to dance. Anytime music is on, he's wiggling around or dancing somehow. And he also loves his Jane. He loves playing with Jane. He loves copying things Jane does. And I think it is super cute. Also, like I said, Jackson is starting to understand a lot of words. He knows when we say, "Where's your lovey?" He'll go get his lovey. He knows different commands, like when we tell him to clap and give kisses. His water right there. And give kisses, he does that, or put his passy back in his crib, he knows that. He knows, do you want to go night-night? And he knows what that means. He'll run into his room. Things like that. I know he's starting to understand what we're saying, although if he can't say the words, he still knows the words. Jackson loves, like you just saw, he loves to point and he loves to babble. So it's actually helping us a lot. This is something Jane did not do, but he points at everything. And so if he really wants something, he'll point at it. And usually he just babbles. He'll say blah, 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 blah. But we know he's saying, can I have that? Or can I touch that? Or can I look at that? Can you say water? But he loves to talk, which is very surprising to me because Jane was a really big talker and Jane still talks a lot. So I kind of thought that Jackson would kind of take a back seat to the talking, but he doesn't. He talks, ooh, bless you. He talks just as much, if not more. And when I say talk, it's kind of just, like I said, baby talk. There are some words that he definitely knows and definitely says. But otherwise, it's baby talk and then the pointing, which really helps. He loves pointing at things. One of the bad habits that he has, though, but it does help us to know what he wants, is if we aren't paying attention to him or if we're doing something else and he's babbling and we kind of just ignore him, because he does babble on his own, kind of talks to himself. So if we're not paying any attention to him, his babbling, and he's trying to tell us something and we don't notice that, he will scream really loud until we look at him, and then he'll tell us what he wants quietly. So he'll scream, ah, and then we look at him and then he'll say blah, 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 and point to what he wants. So it's kind of funny, but the screaming probably shouldn't happen. But that's his way of getting our attention, which it works. Jackson started to run this month. He runs, and he runs fast. He runs around the house with Jane, and He has been walking since 10 months, so about 3 months. It's crazy that he's already running, but he runs, and like I said, he's running fast.
I'm a fast too.
The last thing I have written down is that Jackson is starting to get a little bit picky with his food. He has been a really good eater since the beginning. He likes meat, which is crazy because Jane wasn't a really big meat eater, and he still likes meat, and he still likes some veggies, and he loves fruit. But veggies he's getting a little bit picky on, and then certain things that I know that he likes, he won't eat. So Jackson has had pizza like 3 or 4 times, and he's eaten all the pizza. He loves the pizza. And now the last few times that we've given him pizza, he won't even touch it or eat it. So there's some days where I know that he's gonna eat something and he doesn't. So things that I know that he liked before, and then all of a sudden he won't even like touch it or try it. So, and then the next time I give it to him, he does. So we still give him everything that we wanna give him, or that we hope that he eats. And then some days he's picky, some days he's not. But I feel like that's his age, that's what he's going through. So anyways, we're trying to still allow him to be healthy and eat healthy foods, but he definitely has his favorites. He still really loves mandarin oranges. He loves strawberries. He loves mac and cheese. He likes waffles. Pretty much all the unhealthy things he likes. But like I said, he'll still eat like broccoli and corn and green beans and other fruits and stuff like that too. So anyways, that is it for his little update. 14 months old. Actually, in like 8 days, he'll be 15 months, and we'll be doing a 15-month update because he's actually doing more things right now, but that's for the 15-month update that we'll talk about that. But I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Give a thumbs up for Jackson. Jackson, can you say bye?
Bye.
Can you say bye?
Yeah.
And wave. Mwah.
No.
Bye-bye.
Bye.